I don't think much of him. Keep an eye on him. And then there's a whole bunch of other things going on here. We got married. I wonder how we met. Oh, probably started seeing each other. She's a mechanic though. Anyway, so let's have a look. So this is us. Randy Darbimpole is our friend. Let's chat to him. So we can make small talk. We chat briefly about the time a boy named Randy was born. He was talking about his birth. Randy suddenly remembers meeting you before. So obviously we considered him a friend, but he'd forgotten all about us, which is slightly frustrating, but there we go. We don't know much about him still. We've only met him once. Right, let's go and see if we can borrow a spaceship. So the Darbimpoles clearly run the Earth. Here we go. Milan Darbimpoles. My cousin at the front desk. Brilliant. So now let's see if I can hire a ship. Okay, so here's the current selection of ships. Now the reason, what I wanted to talk about, which is, let me just make sure it's not dropped. Now the reason I wanted to kind of cover this is because this just worked, and the reason it worked was because we just picked up the ship hiring component for Port Nemo, which is kind of it's just a spaceship. Now this doesn't exist, and it's quite important to say this, for every place. So, for example, if I tried to borrow a ship here, it wouldn't work when I was talking to, say, this guy. Now the reason that hiring a ship isn't available for either of these people is because inside this CSV file, which I'll show you, the organization types here are locked. So these organizations are the only ones that we can for which we can say, I want to ask for a ship. And the problem is that we have two separate lists of places where you can hire ships. We have this list here, which is the places you can ask about hiring a ship, and we also have this check in the code when we look at optional components. So here, this type ship hire initial, which shows the amount of ships that are available to hire. But we can't hire ships at all if there are no ships at all to hire, if that makes sense. So the problem that we've got is that I want to keep these components optional. I don't want to have a ship hire component if the organization can't hire ships. However, I don't really want to have to list all the different types of organizations in here that can hire ships or not. What I would like to be able to say is if there is a ship hiring component on a particular place, so for example, if this particular spaceport, for example, has a ship hiring component, or the organization that we're in has a ship hiring component, then I want it to be able to basically hire that out. So what I want to be able to say is, instead of organization type here, I want to be able to say component, or location, required location component. That's what I want to be able to do. So I want to be able to say here, for example, I want to call this component the ship hirer. So I don't have to list any of these. Just want to be able to say ship hirer here. Let's just redo that so we can read it. Okay, so now the question is, are all of these different? And I think that they are. Now we've got something else going on here. This isn't as straightforward as this, because actually we have different behaviors depending on the type of people they are. Just because we could. Yeah, I need to think about this. If you go to certain places that hire ships, like organised crime, they will only let you if you know the person personally. So maybe we do need to have the organisation type here, which is kind of frustrating. No, it's not that frustrating. It's a bit of a shame that that's the case. I suppose what I could do here is there's two different types of things here. So if I just go to call that organization type, and if I add another, oops, if I add another field here, which is required location component, the question is if the component doesn't exist, then I can just say it doesn't work. And I do want to add this constraint. I don't need it immediately, but it just means that it stops me having to worry about, yeah, I think I've got, yeah, did that work? No, I need to add, yeah, I haven't quite got that right. Yeah, I need to add another field here. Sorry about this. This is the Vim CSV module. It means that I can edit CSVs in Vim, which I really like, but it can be a little bit hard to understand. Okay, so if I add this required location component, what I need to be able to do is when I load that conversation in, which is load conversations player, which I'm just switching to now. No, a wrong one. Load con player. Let's see. Load pair conversations, that's the one I want. No, oh, very slow. Don't know what is going on today. I need a faster net connection. I need a faster computer to do this streaming. Okay. Yeah, oh, it looks stuttery, yeah. I'm sorry, I think the stuttering is me. Yeah, my net connection isn't very good today. It's normally better than this. The problem is that I'm basically in my garden office, so I'm sitting using one of those power line adapters, and I'm kind of far away from, I'm kind of out of the range of the power line adapters that they're rated for, so they can just be up and down and up and down. It's very frustrating. I'm sorry about that. Right, what we've done here is we have added a new field, which means I need to just update all of these. So that one's fine. Just let's increase all of these to there we go. Yeah, oh okay, interesting. So ships to hire and ships to lend. So did I ever use those? I don't think I used those. Oh no, I did use those. Yeah, no, that's in the other conversation response. Yeah. So, okay, fine. So now we have if fields 1, statement required component hash, location component hash, sol hash fields 1. And then what I can say, quite simply, is inside my match statement, sorry, my computer is really struggling. All the cores are firing away, and I need to find out why. It's mostly cam twist. Oh, I'm running the game. Let's not run the game just for now. That will slow it down dramatically. Okay, yes, much better. Right, so in here we basically need to say if we have a required location component hash, then we need to say switch statement required location component hash, and then we need to say case. I probably just need to create a few static const uint32 ship hirer ship hirer hash equals sol hash ship hirer. There we go. And then I should be able to say case ship hire hash. I wonder if you can do this and see. You may not be able to, which would be annoying, but I can work that out if it's not going to let me do it. Okay, so if we have a ship hire hash, then what I want to be able to say is, I also want to say invalid code path. So I want to basically say default invalid code path. Yeah. Okay. So if we find a ship hirer, then we need to check the location that the speaker is in. So the speaker itself will be in a place. Do we store? Oh, yes, we do. Okay, so the speaker, we've already got this here because, oh, it's actually where the listener is. They're always going to be in the same place, so I don't know why I'm bothering doing this. Yeah, I think we can just rely on the speaker. Yeah, so we kind of want to do something similar to this. So we want to say if speaker is location enterable. So if we're basically not in a enterable place, which means we're at home, then we want to just say return false. Let's see if I'm not going to be able to do this. I just need to do this, don't I? Ship hirer hash. In fact, I can just say if ship hirer if statement. Let's just do this like this, much easier. Ship hirer hash. That's better, isn't it? Oh, get rid of that one, and that one. There we go, and that. Okay, and then basically what we want to say is we need to find the ship hirer component. There it is. Now, we don't just want to find the ship hirer component because that'll assert if there isn't one there. We actually want to say possible ship hirer. And we need to do ship hirer raw, which basically just looks to see if there's something there at all. And this will be speaker location enterable ID. Now, if there is no possible ship hirer, it's not going to work, basically. Then we need to return false. Great. Which means that if we do find a ship hirer, then we can just carry on. Perfect. Okay, so it's a little bit too much for me to hope that the net connection is going to stabilize, isn't it? I think I've turned off everything else that the machine is doing. I think it's not actually sending any other packets. No, not particularly. It's trying to. It's kind of bursting, but not really. Yeah, it's definitely bursty, and there's nothing else the machine's doing, so it's not using the network. It could be that one of my other machines on the network is just massively using the net connection, which is possible. But when it bursts like this, I'll show you what I mean. What's happening here? Oops. On my processor is that if you look, the internet out to the world, which is the Twitch stream, is just not going fast, which is really frustrating, and I'm really, really sorry about that. But we'll carry on. Hopefully the backup will be a bit better. The Twitch will actually save a copy of the video in a reasonable form. So we've got required location component hash. Right, so we don't actually have this thing in the conversation statement, so let's just add that here, which is required location component hash. There we go. See if this works. Use on to clearly identify state. Yep, that's fine. Speaker location spelt wrong. Okay, so that means that actually now it's impossible for us to go to a place and look at a particular ship hiring conversation option without actually having the ability to hire ships in that location. So that means that that crash shouldn't, that really shouldn't fire at any point, which is good. But I pulled back from actually removing this organization type because it's quite nice to have this kind of behavior here where, depending on the person who's asking you, that's quite useful to be able to kind of change it. So for example, if you know the person socially, you can ask for a ship at the mining office that you're asking, but if you don't know them, then you're not going to get it, and that's quite important. And the pirate band, if you know them well, then you'll get in. Otherwise, they'll kind of appraise you based on your reflexes, whether they think you can handle a ship. You know, so same again with organised crime. If they know you, you get to ask, but you have to do a test first. Yeah, internet connection is still very poor today. It's frustrating. I'm really sorry about this, but we're working on it. It could be worth just stopping it completely and restarting. Yeah, it's just terrible out here today. Always on a Monday. Every time I want to do any kind of streaming, it works fine otherwise. Really frustrating. Let me just... pop that one up and close the other window. Yeah, there we go. Close that completely now. That will help. Yeah, see, I'm getting 50 frames a second, and then it just bombs dramatically. Wow, it's massively speeded up now. What is going on? Yeah, I don't know what is going on. Maybe it's the number of packets. No, it's not the number of packets. That's all fine. Data's going up very fast. I can't be. I mean, it's sending 100k a second. I mean, that's really slow. And then it kind of shoots up, which is really strange. Anyway, it seems to be doing a bit better now. I don't know why. You know, I'm not sure about these things. Why this is not going to go fast, but anyway. Yeah, so I kind of pulled back slightly from this. You know, there's another way that I could do this without using an organization type, which is by varying the activity that the person is doing. At the moment, we have this kind of idea of inquiries, so they're kind of handling inquiries. Now, at a mining office, you can't ask for a ship unless you know them socially. I'm not sure that's even correct. That doesn't feel right to me. It's same with loitering. It's not behavior you necessarily want to actually see happening. So I'm kind of tempted to just remove this for the moment and see if I need it. So if you're doing inquiries, then you should be hiring a ship. And if you're, I never really liked this. And if you know, yeah, that's kind of better. I'm actually happy with that. There we go. Yeah, so if you're loitering and you can hire ships, then you're able to do that, and if you know them. Although, see again, putting things in the way of players hiring ships isn't very good. I'm going to up the patience that they require, so it's a difficult thing to do. But I'm going to take away the test because I don't necessarily want players just because they haven't got a good reflex. They just don't get to do the thing that they want to do. That's frustrating. I can make it cost more. I mean, then the markup will be higher, certainly in those places. but it's kind of annoying to split up the gameplay across all these different places so that you get, it is more realistic, but you've got to think about the gameplay as well. And ultimately, anyone can turn up and ask for a ship. I think that is what I want. It's just going to cost more patience. Yeah, okay. Which means that in theory I can remove this organization type stuff, which I would like to do completely. So I think I may just do that. So let's just delete this column. There we go. Which means that I can back out of pretty much all of the stuff I did earlier, which is really annoying. But if I should be able to just go, oops, I should just be able to go back on all of those numbers. Yeah, and then just copy that button again. Right, which means that inside the conversation statement, in theory, I should be able to remove the required organization type, which means that if I search through the code for required organization type, I should be able to remove this whole thing. Yeah, I think that's it. Great. So I've removed the particular organization type that we're dealing with because I don't really want to tie it to the type, because I want this thing to be really